What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your second stimulus check update. And in this video, I'm going to give you the current up-to-date information on what's going on with the second stimulus check, what's going on with the new skinny package that we might be seeing soon with more stimulus and unemployment extension. I'm going to give you all the details here in just a quick couple minutes. But first, if you're not subscribed yet, click the subscribe button down below. This way you won't miss out on second stimulus check updates. My wife and I do hours of research for you guys every single day so we can bring you all the current up-to-date stimulus check news. And don't forget to smash the like button for us. It really helps out our channel. So first up, the Republicans were supposed to announce a skinny bill or a smaller stimulus package bill that was going to include money for the post office because of the scandal with the post office going on right now. And there was a couple other things that we thought were going to be in that bill, possibly an unemployment extension. There was some talk about whether or not it would have a $1,200 stimulus check. Well, we didn't get that package. The Republicans have not announced it, and we thought they were going to announce it 2 days ago, and they just didn't do it. This is the same thing they did with the HEALS Act. If you remember, that was probably, a month ago? And they said we were going to get it on a Monday, and then they took a few more days to announce it. Well, it looks like we might not get that bill from the Republicans. We actually might get the bill from the Democrats instead. Apparently, there's a lot of concern regarding more stimulus this week with the Democrats. It's like a new fire has been lighted under their behind, and now all of a sudden they're like in gear saying, hey, we need to get a new stimulus package, stimulus checks, unemployment out right now. I'm going to talk about what we're probably going to see in this stimulus package here in a minute, but before we do that, we have to talk about how the Democrats are very upset with Nancy Pelosi for holding up the stimulus package and stimulus check and a more permanent unemployment extension. As you can see here, more than 100 House Democrats urge Nancy Pelosi to pass a smaller stimulus bill to expand unemployment benefits and to get money to the post office and possibly a check. As you can see here, more than 100 House Democrats are pushing Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Majority Leader Steny Hoyer to vote on a bill to reinstate the $600 per week unemployment benefit this weekend. If you hadn't watched my past video, you might not know that the House of Representatives, half of Congress, has returned to vote on a bill potentially on Saturday to fund the U.S. Postal Service along with the other things they want to put in this skinny bill, they're calling it. In a letter on Tuesday, 114 lawmakers urged the California Democrat, aka Nancy Pelosi, and House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer to take up legislation that would reinstate the lapsed $600 per week jobless benefit until the virus emergency ends, which is interesting because that may go well into next year. Then phase it out as state unemployment rates fall. It would also tie available benefit weeks to the unemployment rate. We owe it to the people waiting to get back to work across the country, not only to extend unemployment benefits to help them pay their bills, but to tie these benefits to economic conditions so workers are not held hostage by another cliff like this one. And I'm pretty sure they're talking about that the Republicans and the Democrats have been taking forever to come to an agreement. Here's the interesting part. The letter was signed by roughly half of the House Democrats. So literally half of the Democrats in the House are urging Nancy Pelosi to just make a deal, draft a new bill and make a deal and just come to an agreement with the Republicans. If you watched on yesterday's video, we talked about how Mark Meadows, the White House Chief of Staff, said that they want to make a deal right now. They want to make a deal today, and they want to pass checks to the Americans. So if Nancy Pelosi can just agree with them, it doesn't seem like we have much else to talk about except let's get the checks out and how fast can they happen. I don't know why they can't just do it. I mean, we're that close. it seems like we're this close. Now, we have had a lot of talk about that $600 per week unemployment extension. And it's funny that they're saying $600. I keep seeing $600, $600, $600. They're not saying $300 or $400, at least not from the Democrats' side. So I have a feeling that they might be trying to push to have the $600 unemployment extended at the full $600 and not at the $300 to $400 that the Republicans have passed or the president passed with that presidential executive order. So we may have some really big news this week on if they go ahead and draft a bill or possibly even pass it in the House to extend the unemployment at $600 per week. So, what are we expecting in this skinny deal from either the Republicans or the Democrats? They both pretty much want the same things. So, if they cannot lean too far left or too far right, I think that this might be a bipartisan bill and be passed by both sides. Number one is funding for the post office. Apparently, they need billions of dollars right now so they can get this money before the election. And a lot of experts apparently are saying that if they don't get billions of dollars now, that they might not be able to handle the mail influx for mail in voting from the election, and that they literally might not be able to get the mail done in time and shipped everywhere they need to go in a timely manner, and that literally could delay the election, or that many thousands of votes might not be counted because the post office doesn't have any money. So that apparently is the huge deal why they need to get money for the post office. It's taken up all the news this week. It's literally and of course, the scandal with the new postmaster general that the Republicans appointed, trying to basically defund part of the post office and make all these changes right before the election to actually slow down the mail. Quite the scandal. Number two, that could be in the skinny bill, probably will be in the skinny bill, is an extension of the unemployment enhanced benefits. The reason this is because the president who passed the temporary presidential executive order that was supposed to be $400 per week unemployment boost is now actually $300 per week, because 100 of it was supposed to come from the states, and apparently none of the states want to cough up any money, or they actually don't have any money, and the states that do have money don't want to be the only ones to cough up the money. So it's going to be $300 unless the federal government can step in, or they can pass a more permanent extension of the unemployment. The other reason is because the president was able to do this by basically spending the money from the disaster relief fund and money from the first stimulus package, and apparently that money from the disaster relief fund, which, I mean, this pandemic is a disaster and we do need relief. So apparently that money may run out in 3 to 5 weeks. So they basically need to pass legislation to get more money from that. Also, the White House has said several times that the states can use money for their $100 portion from the first stimulus package. Apparently, there's billions of dollars that the states haven't used yet. They haven't tapped into it yet. And the states could be using that money to get that extra $100 per week out to Americans who need it. And they just have to use it. So we'll have to see if the states can do that. The president did also state one time, at least, I haven't really seen too much other news on it, but he stated in a press conference that if the states don't have the money and they can't use it from that first stimulus package money, in parentheses, that the federal government would fund the money. So we're going to have to see. We're going to have a lot of different things that might happen with unemployment this week. If they pass a more permanent extension through the skinny bill or a stimulus package, that will supersede the president's executive order. He had wording in the bill that said that. So the stimulus package that's passed by Congress will fund the money for that, and the U.S. will just, print more money. The number three that might be in this skinny bill is another stimulus check to Americans. Both the Republicans and the Democrats have said dozens of times that they both want a stimulus check, and the number that they've both pretty much agreed on has been $1,200. And they both want checks for dependents, all dependents this time around. So your college children, any adult dependents that might be claimed on somebody else's tax returns should be getting a check this time. Whether it's going to be $500 or $1,200, we don't know those details yet. Also, Social Security, SSDI, railroad benefits, all you guys should be getting a stimulus check this time around. There's the only reason you wouldn't is if you're over the income threshold, which should be from the first stimulus package. It should be the same income threshold. So if you got a stimulus check the first time around, you should be getting it the second time around. We literally could have a bill on this within the next 24 hours. As soon as it comes out, I'm going to update you guys, give you guys all the information. Make sure you're subscribed, make sure you've smashed the like button for me, and I will keep you guys updated. The other things that could be in this stimulus bill, money for schools. The schools are desperate for money across the country because they're not bringing in as much revenue through tax dollars because people aren't spending as much money because of the pandemic and people being out of work. Also, liability protections against virus-related lawsuits. This is mostly a Republican thing that the Republicans want. Both sides want more payroll protection program money for small businesses and small business owners to help keep small businesses in business and to help pay employees. That's a good thing because it helps small business owners, which tend to be your average everyday common man or somebody who runs a local business, and also helps fund them to pay employees paychecks. The other thing I've been getting a lot of questions on is that payroll tax holiday that the president passed through presidential executive order. And we haven't had a lot of news on it this week at all. That is supposed to take effect September 1st. What that would do is that would give you guys a 7.65% raise in every paycheck. That applies to almost half of all Americans. And an average American who makes about $45,000 a year would receive about $1,200 through this payroll protection holiday, and you get it in small increments in every single check. So every single check is about 7.65% higher, which if you make $45,000, that'll equate to about an extra $1,200 in your paychecks from September 1st to the end of the year. So that'll get you $1,200, and then if we get a stimulus check, you'll get an additional $1,200 or however much it ends up being. Now, if you make more than 45,000, you would get more of a deduction. So if you make double that, 90,000, you would get an extra $2,400 by not having it taken out of your paycheck. If you make half as much as that, $23,000, you would receive about $600 in extra take-home pay. They're going to do this because they're not going to take out Social Security and Medicare out of your paychecks. But the president did say that this won't harm Social Security, that the federal government will pay for this from the United States General Fund. Again, they're going to just shift money from one place to another like they did for that emergency unemployment benefit. Speaking of that, really quickly, I want to update you guys on the unemployment benefits. As you can see here, these are all the states that are currently in progress of sending your $300 unemployment benefits per week. Arizona is the only state that has done it paid, but as you can see, this is updating very quickly every single day. We have a lot of states with pre-applications, payment pendings, applied. A lot of these states are now updating, and we're getting closer and closer. So it looks like it's about half of the United States states that are going to be sending the $300 pretty soon, within a week or so, if I had to guess. Again, we already have Arizona who's, on top of the ball. All these states, it's just up to the states to do their paperwork and file whatever necessary papers they need to do to get the funding and get this money out in a timely manner. So talk to your state representatives if you want to speed this up. So I will update you guys as soon as new information comes out about everything stimulus related. And you can click on this top video to watch my newest stimulus check video. And this bottom video is about how the vaccine for the virus might be mandatory. And this video teaches you how to start a business selling products on Amazon. I have students that have replaced their entire 9-to-5 income, and I teach them how to do that. Click on one of those videos to watch them next. Thanks, and I will see you in the next video.